Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an essay. This will help you to answer a question that asks you to write an essay or to answer a question by writing an article or an essay. At the beginning, it's so necessary to know the parts of an essay. So traditionally, we have to have a title, then we have to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So let's begin. Now for the title, it is so necessary to be comprehensive. Sometimes, especially for the literature essays, the title could be critical. So sometimes it is a hint for something, or it regards some themes and so on. Then we have to start by the introduction. In the introduction, it is necessary to include 3 sentences or 3 types of sentences. The first one is a general sentence about the topic. We can write any sentence, any general sentence about the topic. I'll show you how to write it in some seconds. The second type of sentences are some supporting sentences. They could have 3 to 4 sentences. These ones can start the topic. You can start the topic by saying some details about. And the last sentence, which is the most important one, as it is called the aim sentence or the thesis statement. So you can start it by this essay aims to explain, or this essay aims to discuss or to show or to analyze A and B and C. Okay. Now I'll show you something that I've already written. This is an introduction for an essay that will discuss something about the plays written by Shakespeare. So the first sentence, which is a general sentence, could be something like that. For example, Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor. This is a very general sentence about Shakespeare. Okay, then I have 2 sentences, 2 supporting sentences, just to go through the topic itself. So I've started something like, he mainly writes in poetry and drama. So these are the 2 genres that Shakespeare writes in. So he writes only in poetry and drama. Then I've said something about the plays, since I'm going to explain the types of the plays he writes in. So I said his plays were classified as comedy, tragedy, and histories. So I've mentioned the 3 types for the plays that Shakespeare writes. Okay, so after that, I have to say the thesis statement. So I've made it like this. This essay aims to explain the main features of, okay, here it must be of these types. Okay, I will edit it of, so these types. Okay, so again and again for the introduction I have, so this is the first sentence, which is a general one. This is these 2 sentences are the supporting one, and this is the aim sentence, which is the thesis statement. Now, based on this aim sentence, I have to decide the number of the paragraphs inside the body of my essay. So based on this aim sentence, so this essay aims to explain the main features of these types. Which types? So the comedy, the tragedy, and the histories. So I am supposed to explain 3 paragraphs. One about the comedy, one about the tragedy, and one about the histories. Okay. So let's go ahead with the body. So what is to be discussed here? In the body of your essay, you have to discuss in details the items that you've mentioned in the aim statement. Okay, so this could be made in 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs based on the number of the points you need to discuss. For example, sometimes if you want to analyze a character in a novel, for example, or two characters. So what you have mentioned here in the aim statement, or the thesis statement, for example, this essay aims to analyze the character of A and B. So simply you have to analyze the character of A in one paragraph and the character of B in the second paragraph. You can make them, if you don't have much details, you can include all of these details inside just one paragraph. You can do that. But if you find yourself with so much detail, so it's good to analyze them in two paragraphs, in three paragraphs, based on the number of points you've mentioned here in the aim sentence. Okay, so I'll tell you, or I'll show you something here that I've prepared before. So this is the body of the essay that I prepare for my essay about Shakespeare. So based on the aim sentence, I am supposed to explain something about the comedy, the tragedy, and the histories. And as you see, here is one paragraph about the comedy, another paragraph about the tragedy, and the third paragraph is about the histories. Okay, now what is to be written inside every paragraph? Okay, simply you have to have a topic sentence and supporting sentences. It's good to start by defining what is the meaning of comedy plays. So you can say comedy plays are defined as blah and blah. Then you have to say the characteristics or the features of these kind of plays. For example, the settings, the characters, the themes, something regarding the scenes, for example, something regarding all of these features. So you can say them here like they are characterized by or with something. And above all, the most important point that you have to say are examples. It is important to have examples to write once you are writing or explaining something. Okay, now in tragedy, in the second paragraph, this is another paragraph. So in tragedy, try to be systematic. What I mean by systematic, is that your paragraphs must be the same. So here you start by a definition. Here you have to make a definition as well. So a tragedy plays, okay, I have to be similar to what is mentioned here. So tragedy plays are defined, okay, as blah and blah. Okay, then say the characteristics, then say examples. Okay, by the end, you will have two typical paragraphs. The third one, which is histories, are the same. So histories or history plays are defined again as blah and blah, then the characteristics of them, then say some examples. Plays written by Shakespeare, that they are classified as histories. I think something like Richard or Othello. Okay, I'm not sure of my information or something regarding these ones. Okay, so this is the body of my essay regarding Shakespeare. Now, the last part of my essay must be a conclusion. And actually, the conclusion will be decided based on the topic of your essay. So sometimes it's good to have a summary. Sometimes it's good to have a recommendation. Sometimes it is good to show your own opinion or solutions, especially if you are mentioning or you are showing a problem. And this problem has some details, characteristics, statistics, numbers, percentages, and so on. So by the end, you can recommend some solutions here in the conclusion. Okay, so based on the topic of the essay, this could be with one paragraph. It is it's fair enough for the conclusion to be just one paragraph summarizing the details, especially if you feel that here in the body you have so much details and so much complicated details, numbers, statistics. So it's good to have a summary here. Fine. Sometimes you're expressing your own point of view, especially if you are explaining a problem here, or opinion toward an issue. Or it could include a recommendation. Recommendation for a service, for an issue, okay, for something, this is something. Okay. So we can start by saying something like, by the way of concluding, it can be said that blah and blah, or I recommend to blah and blah, or I see that something. Okay, I'll show you where are we here in the essay that I've started by Shakespeare or for Shakespeare. So by the end, I find that I have no much like details. So it's good to say, by the way of concluding, this is a good way to start by the way of concluding, or to sum up. So to sum up, comma. So I've written something here like Shakespeare's plays were typically collaborated with others. It can be said that X and Y are similar to each other in their characteristics, in their settings, and so on. I think, okay, here what I mean by I think, I am expressing my own point of view regarding this idea. That is, the plays of Shakespeare were collaborated with others. So I have to provide this opinion with my own opinion. So it's good to have evidence. It's good to have so many examples and so on. So by the end, again, I'll review something. So this is an introduction. Okay, at the beginning, it's so important to have a title, as I've told you. So you can choose, for example, plays. You can say something like that. Plays of Shakespeare. Okay. Fine. So this is my title. And this is the introduction, included 3 types of sentences. The most important one is the thesis statement that starts by, this essay aims to explain blah and blah. Based on what is mentioned in the aim statement or the thesis statement, you can decide the number of the paragraphs, and by the end, you can see the conclusion. That is all. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.